Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be rounding out my review of the Sundowning album with the last song of the album, Bloodsport. I'm going to make an executive decision here, since this is a very important song to me and I think to a lot of people. There is a version of the song that is called the the Room Below version. I think that version of the song is the superior version of the song. I do like the album version, so feel free to go listen to that if you want to, but I would highly suggest kind of imagining this version as I guess, the canon version of the song. I just feel like the tone works a lot better to end the album, and I'll explain all that as we go through it, but I just wanted to go ahead and tell you that's what we're doing instead of listening to the album version. Because this is just my personal favorite version of the song, and this version of this song might be my favorite Sleep Token song. It's just so good, and we'll go through why that is as I go through it. But without further ado, let's just hop right into it, and hopefully you'll agree with me that it's the better version, or maybe you won't. That's fine too. To each their own. I just really love this version and wanted to share it with you guys.
Wanna roll the numbers, wanna feel my stars align again. Even if the earth breaks like burnt skin and the heavens just won't open up for me, would you invite me in again? Won't you pay for your arrogance? Won't you show me your weakness? I made loving you a blood sport. I made loving you a blood sport. I made loving you a blood sport. I can't win. I made loving you a blood sport. I made loving you a blood sport. I made loving you a blood sport. I can't win. So let's play.
So as you can see here, this version of the song is very intimate. It's literally just Vessel, this piano, in a room, and I'm not very good at piano. In fact, I'm trying to kind of learn it. This is one of the first songs that I tried to pick up, at least the basics, to play on piano. And the thing I notice here is that this song is very, very straightforward rhythmically here. It's just chords coming one after another in this straight rhythm, but the chords themselves are just beautifully colored to go back and forth between these nice 7 chords that give us a sorrowful sound almost, and then these very nasty sounding notes, very discordant notes being added on over top of it to give us this back and forth. And I think we hear that a lot in Vessel's vocal performance here as well. He's singing the way that we are used to him singing, but especially that last little note before I paused, right? It's clear he's barely holding on in this performance, keeping it together. He's giving it his all in terms of expression, but it's like we're on this ride and it's just barely staying on the tracks because he just has so much emotion behind what he's saying here. I'll go back so you can just hear what I'm talking about in this last little note here.
So let's play.
Like he almost just sobs that note there.
And somewhere
In there.
the atoms stopped fusing. in a quantum pattern, tangled with what I never said. You say it doesn't matter. I wanna be forgiven. I wanna choke up chunks of my own sins, even if the sky cracks in morning and the heavens just won't open up for me. Would you invite me in again? Let me pay for my arrogance. Won't you show me your weakness?
Just the back and forth between his just like clean, beautiful, voice with all the little flourishes he does, that juxtaposed to these really rough, gritty sounds in his voice. It's almost like he's just like fighting himself. It's like an internal battle, and I think that's definitely the purpose of why he's singing this way. Gosh, it's just so. This vocal performance is just incredible.
Show me your weakness.
And the whispery parts.
I made loving you a blood sport. I made loving you a blood sport. I made loving you a blood sport. I can't win. I made loving you a blood sport. I made loving you a blood sport. I made loving you a blood sport. I can't win. And somewhere the atoms stopped fusing. I'm still your favorite regret, and you're still my weapon of choosing. And out there, stuck in a quantum pattern, tangled with what I never said. You say it doesn't matter.
Such a beautiful outro too. Yeah. So I think the thing about this song that just, I guess, moves me is the fact that it really doesn't sound like he's just singing this song, right? This is a performance, but to me this goes even beyond a performance. It's almost like he's fighting the song, like it's a battle to even get through it. And I think you can hear that in the last chorus in the outro of the song, where it sounds like he's barely keeping it together. His voice starts to break, and I think that's when I start to get teary-eyed, and I think if you don't feel something by this performance, I would ask, if you have a heart, right? I think this is what makes Sleep Token really, really special, and especially Vessel here. I've seen people try to replicate Sleep Token songs. They'll try to do covers of the music, and they hit all the right notes. They might try to kind of emulate his vocal style, but it never quite works out the same way. And it's because I don't think that they can tap in to that pain and that grief that Vessel has in the same way when he's writing and performing these songs. I guess the biggest example is I recently saw that an a cappella group had done a cover of Fall For Me, and it sounded great. It was well performed. Like, props to them. They really did kill the arrangement of the song. It was great. But it was always just missing something. And that's how I feel about any kind of cover or music that tries to emulate the sound of Sleep Token. It really is the unfortunate fact that moments of pain and stuff like that is what creates the best art. And I hope that Vessel, in getting all this out here, has healed in some way, and it seems he has, at least with the demeanor from the live shows and stuff like that over the years, and the way that the trilogy ended. But I think it's moments like this might be my favorite vocal performance of all time. Just because you can go get all the classical training in the world, and you can hit every note perfectly, and you can be right on pitch and right on tempo, but the thing that makes music like this beautiful is that it's imperfect. It's the emotion behind it. It's not able to be replicated by someone who hasn't lived the experiences that Vessel has lived. And these are the things that I think make art meaningful in a way that's not just trying to make a song to sell it. I mean, I don't want to be too critical of people who do make music for money, because it's still art, but there's just, I think, a marked difference between I need to make some music just to pay the bills and I have something to express. And once again, I don't want to direct hate or anything like that towards people who do make music as they're living and feel like they need to do that. Once again, they're still making art, they're still talented. I'm just trying to express how much Sleep Token means to me and people, I guess, who get it, right? That it's more than just it's more than the sum of its parts, is what I'm trying to say. But with that tangent out of the way, I guess we can finally talk about like where this song sits in terms of the album. This song comes after Drag Me Under, which was kind of what I call the climax of the album, where Vessel gets what he wants. He's with Sleep, and it's this blissful dream state, right? But he knows it's going to come to an end, and Bloodsport is just the aftermath of her leaving. And we can kind of see this in that he says, you know, the atom stopped fusing, talks about regrets, about how he knows he has to play this game to keep her there, but it's one that he'll never be able to win. And I think this is an admission that after it's all said and done, he is mentally, physically just used up, exhausted, and eventually this pursuit of sleep is going to kill him. That's just how it's going to end, and he's resigned himself to that. And I think this, if we imagine this song not as the closer to Sundowning, but the song before Atlantic on This Place Will Become Your Tomb, I think Atlantic shows us the results of this resignation to having to do this ritual over and over and over, and the toll that it's taking on his mental health, on his physical health, how it's going to lead him down this road where he will never be able to recover. But I guess to end this whole journey on a positive note, it seems like we get, at the end of Take Me Back to Eden, at the end of the trilogy, kind of a breakthrough for Vessel where he can move past this. Some of the interesting lyrical bits in this song, we've got stuff like, you know, atoms fusing, quantum patterns, almost like a quantum entanglement thing. He says tangled, you know, up in the quantum pattern, something like that. Tangled in what I never said, that's what he says. All of these are very interesting, almost like chemistry terms, which makes me think the way that it's tangled up in like the occult, that he might be trying to reference like alchemy or something like that, and the idea that he's trying to turn this thing, this relationship, into gold, trying to transmute it, which that was the thing that the alchemist wanted to do, right? Turn anything into gold. He wants that to happen, but just for the alchemists that came before him, he can't take this and turn it into something it's not, but he's willing to die to try to make that happen. And luckily it seems like he's broken free of that cycle. If only briefly, it's still a victory. And yeah, that's how I feel about this song. That's how I feel about this performance and what all it means to me. And I know this has been a long rant and just a long series to get through all of the trilogy, but we made it. We made it to the end. It's kind of bittersweet, but I hope that this has helped you appreciate Sleep Token more. I hope that this series has made you reflect on what makes this band special. I hope it has helped you grow in some way, listening to this music, taking it in, to maybe move past some things in your life that may be trying to drag you down, because I know that the one thing that Sleep Token and Vessel say that we all have in common is that we have all suffered. But through this music, it seems like he is trying to, at least for a little bit, transcend that suffering and lay it out so that we can all share in this ritual that Vessel has laid before us. And with that, that is the Sleep Token trilogy. I've given my thoughts on every song. I don't know where I'm going to go from here, what I'm going to look at next, but I will continue to dive into music that I think is interesting and worth dissecting. And I will see you in the next video. See ya.